Hey guys, it's Anthony Nuara here. I'm going to go over wealth creation today. There's a few things that I want to touch on that I think are essential and crucial to being able to create wealth for yourself. So, number one is definitely sales. Being able to understand how humans operate, what drives humans, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in, right? So, like, when you look at sales, there's 4 reasons why people don't buy something. Number one, there is no need, right? There's no need for this product. Number 2, the price. So they can't justify the price. Number 3 is they don't have any time. So they're too busy. It's the wrong time. Number 4 is trust. So pretty much in all my, the companies that I have that are involved with sales, I tailor my whole entire process to eliminate all of these main objections. Because realistically, in any type of situation, there's only a handful of objections. And once you're able to navigate around those situations, it's pretty much an easy sale. It's a smooth transition. So my job is pretty simple in that sense, right? So if you're able to understand sales and how people work within your business or organization, super, super, super important to be able to create wealth for yourself. Number 2 is gratitude. So the big thing about gratitude is as you're starting to create wealth and as you're starting to increase your income and you run into more problems. I mean, the whole more money, more problems thing is very relevant. I've dealt with it before. Something that happens as you're making more money is you have to add more onto your plate. So there's more stress involved. And I think sometimes, you go from being not doing well to being upset about it, right? And stressed out that you're not doing well. And then you're doing so well, but you have so much on your plate that you're stressed out about that as well. So I think a big thing for wealth creation is to have gratitude because you need to be grateful for these problems, because problems will come as you continually grow and make more money. So if you're grateful for them and you look at it as like an opportunity and something that you're happy to have, right? It's hard to get too stressed out about it. It helps overcome those issues. Another layer of wealth creation would be leverage. I think it's very, very, very important to be able to understand how to create leverage in your company and just in your investment career. A lot of people are afraid of debt, and I think debt is a very good thing. And there's good debt, right? And there's obviously bad debt, but the good debt is real estate. I mean, you're getting a property for, let's say, $1 million for $250,000, right? A lot of people will go out there and be like, well, if you have all this money, why would you not just buy it out straight, You have the $1 million, $2 million, $3 million in your bank account, just buy it out. So the point of creating that leverage is, let's say the interest rate's 4%. It's so much more effective to have 4 properties for $1 million with a 4% interest rate than 1 property that you own fully cash because you're really only saving 4% a year. So if that property could outperform 4% in a year, there's no reason why you shouldn't want to create that leverage for yourself, right? And then when it comes beyond investment properties and whatnot, just being able to learn how to leverage people and your time. So how I look at time is if I'm worth $10,000 an hour or $5,000 an hour or $100 an hour, if I'm worth $5,000 an hour, there's no reason for me to drive to Panera or wherever, right? To put in an order to get food. It's so much more effective for me just to Uber Eats, and I'll pay the $50 or $30 or $20 or $10 more, whatever the situation is, because I'm busy doing something. I'm on a call or I got something involved, right? So it's not worth it for me to leave what I'm doing to save $10, right? Or personally, I don't do my laundry. I know, whatever, right? I don't do my laundry. I pay someone to do it. It costs $1 a pound or whatever it is, right? It would take me 2 hours, 3 hours to do my laundry. Instead, I pay somebody to do it. It's so much more effective because of my time is worth so much more. That is why the super wealthy people have maids, drivers, et cetera, because they know how valuable their time is. They're leveraging their time, and they're putting their focus and their energy on stuff either that's going to create them income or that's going to make them, their resting periods, right? Like where they're refreshing, which is all about still, leveraging your time. Next thing is a belief system. Something that I think has set me apart or put me in a good situation was I made a lot of my money knocking on doors. So, I could literally go any state in America and knock on someone's door, sell a product, and make a lot of money. And knowing that I'm capable of doing that, knowing that I have that skill, it just created this huge belief in me that I could do anything. I'm not afraid. My whole successful career, I've been essentially my own quote unquote boss. I don't like the word boss. I like the word leader, but essentially I've been my own boss, and I've lived on this side of risk, right? So like, if you look at me, someone would say, wow, that's a risky lifestyle, right? Like, he's going out there, and what if he doesn't make money? What if he doesn't, what if this, what if that, what if everything crumbles? Well, I could look at someone who's in a union, and not to discredit anybody, because that's not what I'm here to do. And I can say that's a risky life, to make $100,000 a year, to make $150,000 a year, and dedicate all that time to doing that, right? And maybe you don't like that, or maybe you do. And if you do like that, then do that, right? But like, I could look at that as risky. Like, I just feel like you have to understand that believing in yourself is so, so important. I've seen so many people that are credible, they are super smart, and they're fully capable of accomplishing big things, but their belief in themselves is not there, and they're so afraid to just get after things. So huge thing for me is belief system. Another one is standards. How I relate this is that standards is kind of like a thermostat, right? So like if you go into a room and that thermostat is set at 70 degrees, what happens? If the temperature goes above, consider if it's an air conditioner, above 70 degrees, what happens? The air conditioner kicks on and it brings it back down, right? That is the standard of that room. Now, when you're in finances or business, you operate at a certain standard. So if you make $50K a year, you don't want to make you made $50K a year for 5 years, it's hard for you to go and make $10K a year. Like, you have a standard of $50K a year. And as you operate higher and higher, $100K a year, $500K a year, $2 million a year, $5 million a year, to make $2 million in a year and go make $400K in a year, that would really actually hurt you. Your standard is so much higher. So I think people operate towards their standards more than their goals. So you have to raise your standards. Another thing in wealth creation would be scalability. I don't like to get involved in anything that I can't scale it. So I look at an opportunity or whatever, and I'm like, how big can I scale this? And if it feels like there's not enough product opportunity, consumer opportunity, whatever the situation is, if there's no scalability, I don't touch it. And if I can't get people involved with it, I don't want to do it. I don't really like being a one-man show on something. I just enjoy working with people and growing other people's income and growing them and developing them. So another thing in wealth creation is execution. A lot of people have good ideas. A lot of people have good thoughts. A lot of people want to accomplish big things. Very few execute. And obviously there's bigger things behind that, right? Desire, income, money, whatever, risk-taking, fear. But I think execution is something that has set me apart. When I want something or when I think of something, I just start getting into the motion. I'm not afraid of failing. I've failed before in business that failed, but I get into the motion of things, and I'll just start. I'll start the rocket ship, and I always say, and it's funny for people around me, but I'm the guy that I'll hit start button on the rocket ship. We'll start going up and the door's not even on. But I make sure that I have people around me that will make sure the door stays on and there's still gas in the rocket ship. But I'll just start going, right? And that also ties into another thing. You have to have the right people. You don't want to go into opportunities with the wrong people or people that aren't aligned with what you're trying to accomplish. There has to be a very good communication factor on that, and trust, because trust equals speed. So if you don't trust who you're working with, the speed slows down. You know what I mean? Because you have to always look over your shoulder. I wonder if he's doing what he's supposed to do. I wonder if that person is doing what they're supposed to do. I have to check up on this person. The speed of the organization is not operating as it should, right? And then understanding that as you grow and create wealth and you're a business owner and a CEO and whatever the situation is, people don't work for you. I mean, they do, but you essentially work for your people. And don't ever get that twisted. Don't ever walk into a room and say, oh, everyone, you guys work for me, blah, 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 and take that mentality. And sometimes, yeah, it does work in certain organizations, but there's a lack of respect there, and you'll never get the best out of your people. You know, your people are your income, and you have to treat it like that. You have to treat them like that sense, right? So whenever I, get new employees or whatever, I look at them as partnerships. And not really employees. I even, if the word employee exists because it is what it is, and the word boss exists because it is what it is, but I'm literally just trying to grow people and lead them in a direction that helps them. And I never look at it as they work for me. I think we all work together, or I work for them essentially, right? So those are a few things that I think are really crucial to wealth creation, and I wanted to go over with you guys. So appreciate your time.